to... Now I forgot what I was going to say. Yes, moved again. So just in here now. Just wanted to talk about learning walls and what they are in my classroom. As teachers, we agreed this was an effective way to incorporate STEM into our curriculum. First maker mate is out. They're going to be able to choose 2 of these for this week. Definitely need to change that. Yes, I've got my good hair on. I've got my it's summer, it's holidays, and I don't care, look. The underpinning idea of STEM is that students need to identify a problem. They then create a possible solution to that problem, which then makes a test. As a teacher, I now have another piece of evidence in my English grade book and student report card writing. Here. And you know when you do things and you're just not happy with how they turn out, well, that's me. My flexible seating, which the kids are loving, and would you believe the behaviours, my kids are so good. We've started talking about complete and incomplete sentences and what do they need, a noun and a verb. I'm only vlogging. I'm trying really hard to do this, but my time today, and so I'm going to go into each folder tomorrow when I sit down with them in math groups. Hey everybody, I know it's been a while. Hi, well here I am in my room again. Well, actually I haven't brought you with me, but I thought I might try vlogging for a week and see how we go. But I'm saying that I've already missed 1 day. So we're going to vlog for 4 days. So this is me in my classroom, week 5 of the new year. A few things going on with me. So on my face, don't know if you can tell, I'm actually using some of this Effidex cancer cream to bring out some cancers, so I can't put any makeup on, which really ruins my morning routine. I can't put anything on except this Effidex. My skin isn't too bad. My nose is probably the worst. So I'm in week 2 of that. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully this will be the worst of it. So as you can see behind me, my classroom, it is a work in progress because I did decide to change to flexible seating last week. So last Wednesday I decided that I'd had enough of some of the kids not being able to sit in their seats correctly, and I thought, okay, I'm going to change to flexible seating. So I'm on that journey at the moment. If you would have seen my Instagram, you would have seen the beginning of my journey. So here I am in the middle of my room with my flexible seating, which the kids are loving. And would you believe the behaviours, my kids are so good. So I'm really, really impressed with the way that they're working with this new seating arrangement. It's amazing. So I'm just going to go and put my lunch away, and then I will come back and do some more vlogging. Hey, okay, so I know it's been all afternoon and I have been in class all day and it's the end of the day, so I just wanted to have a little talk about my classroom and what I'm up to. I had a very quick chat this morning about the changes in my classroom. So during last week I decided that I was going to go into a flexible seating classroom. What crazy teacher does that in the middle of the week after just settling in? Well, there are a couple of reasons why I chose to do flexible seating and to start now. I have 3 or 4 students, mainly boys, okay, they're all boys, that really struggle to sit in a proper desk and seat. So last year I do know that one of the boys had a wobble cushion underneath him in the classroom, and that's great. But then I still had another 3 that they told me they preferred to be standing up and working. So I thought, fantastic. They like to stand up. So I researched sit stand desks, and as I was researching, I came across flexible seating. Now, I have looked at flexible seating for many years, and a teacher in our school already does flexible seating, and so I've watched her journey over the last year, and she seems really happy with it and says she wouldn't go back. So that was okay. So someone else in the school thinks it works and is a great idea. So I talked to my colleagues and they were like, go on, try it, it can't hurt. So I enlisted the help of my husband and the groundsman and found some flexible seating choices. I already had in my classroom the lap desks and a coffee table, pillows, cushions, and some low stools. So it was mainly going out, and my groundsman got a dining table that was really old in the school that someone had used. I think I'd used it years ago, but the legs were very wobbly, so he fixed up the legs, and he found some black like dining type chairs that are very soft and cushy to go with it. I already had some stools and I had a round table, so I had the bare bones. I still haven't got everything I'd like. It can cost a little bit of money, I guess. I am going to go to IKEA this weekend and pick up a couple more things, but not much. Most of it I already had. It was just turning them into full-time flexible seating and not just when you can choose or group work. It was so it's full-time. I do have left in my classroom some desks and chairs, because I do realise that some children do work better at desks and chairs. So I have left desks and chairs in the classroom for them to use. Not a lot. I am going to go and purchase as well the big balls, those exercise balls which they bounce on. That I think will be really good for my few boys that get the wobbles and need to wobble. I would like to buy some wobble chairs, but they're very expensive and my personal budget just can't afford them just yet. I could buy one this year and maybe one next year. That's a big if. So I'm going to try these balls so the kids can, look at me wobbling, so the kids can see how they go. Now I guess that they will be a big hit and everyone will want to jump on them. There will only be 2 and they'll be at the desk that so I've got desks already. So I'll have 2 chair and desks, and with the other 2 desks I'll have the wobble balls. And I'm getting a little futon lounge as well this weekend for those kids who just want to laze around. And believe it or not, I've had it not even a week tomorrow. The behaviour is amazing. These kids have really stepped up, embraced it. The work they're giving me is amazing. I am impressed. I really didn't think, I thought behaviour management, and I thought it would stress me out. So, okay, yeah, I am a little bit OCD and I like my room to be neat and tidy. Sometimes my desk is not neat and tidy, but I like my room to stay neat and tidy, and I'm always at the kids to be aware of picking up after themselves, especially now that we have flexible seating where kids are actually laying on the ground. They have to be aware that they need to keep their belongings to themselves. So sometimes during the day it can do my head in a little bit because there is so much stuff around. I have now used some of my bookshelves as areas, square IKEA's, or they're not even from IKEA, they're from Kmart, the square cube shelves, and I just need to go and buy some more little black baskety things that need to go in, and the kids are storing their things in them. But through the day when they take out their pencil cases, they are like usually on the floor or around. That I'm trying not to let that get to me, because by the end of the day the kids pack everything away and the room's neat and tidy and it looks really lovely, and the kids are always working. And that's my phone. I love how my phone tells me suspected spam. So don't answer it. I love my new phone. This is my tune. They ring and I never answer, especially when it says what it says. So my phone actually tells me that now, so it's quite good, because now I don't answer stupid phone calls. So back to my flexible seating. So I am in the middle of the flexible seating journey. I will share with you my classroom once the flexible seating journey is complete, in the fact that I have brought the things that I want and arranged my room the way I want the room to be. At the moment it's not fully finished, but it won't be long, another week, and I'll have the few more things that I need to grab to make it a flexible classroom. Like I said, my kids have embraced it, and I am embracing it too, because the work they're giving me, they're great, and their behaviour is great, and that was the one thing I worried about, was behaviour management. The only thing that is a bit of a problem is in the morning they do rush in to grab the best seats in the house, so, or what they feel are the best seats in the house, which is a coffee table with the little stools. So starting tomorrow I'm going to use my sticks that I have, the paddle pop sticks that you pull out. It's got the kids' names on them. So we'll all come to the carpet and I'll just randomly pull out names and say go choose a spot, because I don't know a better way at the moment to do that. Okay, so I guess I better go. It's 5:30 and I'll be shutting the school soon. So hopefully tomorrow I will get on and show you a little bit of what we're doing in our 3rd grade classroom. Okay, so I'm going to be honest here, I'm not very good at this vlogging every day caper. In fact, we're up to Thursday. I was sick yesterday, and it's Thursday afternoon and everybody's gone home, and I was about to leave and I thought, oh, I need to vlog, and I'm not very good at this. So I was just looking at my face, you can really see, so I'm using this skin cancer treatment for my face, and I can actually notice that it's a little bit red in places, but I've nearly finished the cream, so my face wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to have to wear like a burqa or something on my face to cover it, because I had visions of being hideously disfigured, but it doesn't seem to have worked out that bad, which is good. My face is still burns, so yeah, it's hot. Anyway, I was very naughty just then. I ate a whole bunch of Starburst snakes. I'm going to be honest, I brought these snakes the end of last year for the last week to do a STEM activity. It's called Save Fred. Obviously didn't use them all, and was just cleaning up my STEM things and found an unopened packet in there, and I've just demolished half the packet now. That was a bonus. So I just thought I'd get on here and very quickly, because I'm so good at this, very quickly talk about what the last couple of days has worked really, really well for me in the classroom. I got here the Australian curriculum checklist for maths for year 3, and if you can see that, so I have made one for each student. I did condense them a bit smaller, so, and they're on back to back, and I put them in their data folder. So this week we were looking at identifying or investigating conditions required for a number to be odd or even, and identify odd and even numbers. So today I gave them a little exit slip on it, and I've just finished marking their work, and so I'm going to go into each folder tomorrow when I sit down with them in math groups and tick off whether they can do it or not. So hopefully I'll work my way through all of this for each term, and that'll give me a really good overview at the end of the year, or report card time at least, of what the kids know, what they're doing, and are we getting checking off all those things we need on here. I did just notice on Teachers Pay Teachers that some woman has actually made this little booklet with all this on it, and you can type in the kids' names and it regenerates them for every area for maths. And I was thinking that looked pretty cool to have for myself in my teacher folder. So that's been working really, I like it. I'm hoping I can stick with it for the whole year, so I'll let you know how that goes. But I've already done some students, tick them off to say that yes, they can do it. No, some of my students can't really. They can count in 2s from 2. They can count in 5s from 5. But if I give them the number 45, some struggle. And if I give them the number 12, some of them struggle till they get into that routine. Also too, if I put the numbers like 42, 39, 56, 73, 27 jumbled up, and ask them to put down the numbers counting in 2s, what would you circle? Some kids struggled with that, and so I guess they only know that rote learning of counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and don't really know how to identify an odd or even number. So I will be doing work with those students in small group next week. Now I did want to actually show you something that people comment on a lot in my school, and I don't know if I told you, but I made my own binder folder this year, teacher folder this year, and I don't know if I should cover where I work. Everyone probably knows where I work. So I've made my own one, and I've used this system. Now I can't remember what it's called. I have the worst memory at the moment. It's the beginning of the year, there's so much happening. So where you just get the little discs and you put everything on. Now this started out very thin with only a couple of pages 5 weeks ago. We are now this thick. I do have bigger ones at home as well, bigger rings that I can slip in if it gets really thick, but I'm thinking that at the end of the term I'm going to take out all my lesson plans. So here's my page for my lesson plans. So in here I have like the January, there's not much happening in January as we know, and then I had a February, I've got a full double-sided calendar, and now we're at the end of February. But my lesson plans look, I'll show you last week's lesson plans. I'll take my Mathletics card. So my lesson plans are like this, and I love it because you can just flip it back, and people are like, how does that actually work? Like, why doesn't it just fall apart? Well, honestly, I have no idea, but it does work. And it's one of the ones where you can take the page and you just pull it out, and then you can just slip it back in when you want to stick it back in. And what makes it really good is when I get a sheet, say from work, at a PD or whatever, I just turn to the PD section, or I take it home, I punch it, hole punch it, and then I stick it in my, you know, PD, professional development learning area, or my team planning, or whatever area I want to put it in. I just put it in and I just slip it in, which is better than the other ones where you had to stick it either in a plastic sleeve, or you just have a whole bunch of loose papers in here where you stick it into a pocket in the back. So, and I'm in love with llamas. They're cute. This one I got from Officeworks. He's so cute. He goes on there. So yeah, and lots of people ask me because they love it. And I'm thinking at the end of the term, in the next 5 weeks, I'm just going to take out all this term's lesson plans and put them in a folder at home, and anything else that's not relevant to the new term, just put in a folder, just a slim plastic folder, label it, put it in a filing drawer. So if I need to go back and see what I did, I can. So I just thought I'd show you that. I can't remember what the system is now called because I've lost my mind, but it's a good one. And I just have all my student data and everything in there, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. And people actually comment on how nice it looks and how does it work, and I really love the fact that, like I just said, if I get something from a PD or some paperwork, as we always do all the time, I can just hole punch it and it will just become part of the vault binder. Not a problem. And then when I'm finished, I just rip it out. I'm not even ripping it out, I'm just taking it out because I can always stick it back in, and it folds back really, really well. So really, really like that. So that was just a couple of things this week. I just wanted to show you that one is a new thing and that it looks like it's going to work well, and two is my folder that I know works really, really well. Now I am a little bit excited because I'm getting more of my flexible classroom happening. I've got a big ball for the kids and they've learnt the rules really, really well. So we've written out our rules for flexible seating and the kids are enjoying using different seats every day. They're working really well. So I am really, really happy with the whole experience so far. Now as soon as I complete my flexible how I want it, I've just got to get one more thing and a couple of basket for the kids things to go in. Once I've done that, I'll definitely have a room tour with all the flexible seating options in my classroom. I have had to change quite a bit around to make it work, but it is working. So now it's like 5:30, 5:45. I need to wrap up because I'll get locked in. I will make a really good effort. The first thing tomorrow morning, I will show you what we're going to be up to in the classroom for Friday. Okay, good morning everybody. So here I am, it's Friday and I'm vlogging. Woo! So I just wanted to talk about my room, some parts of it. So this morning my kids are going to do some STEM. So I am using, this is my STEM corner. So here's our STEM. There's a challenge that they're going to do there. So because it's the first day of March, the new maker mat is out. So let's turn that around so you can see it. So the first maker mat is out. They're going to be able to choose 2 of these for this week. The challenge is in here. They have some Play-Doh and sticks and some cards to make 3D shapes. And in here, the challenge is to make a maze with the dominoes. Over here, the challenge is to make a boat. And there's some worksheets to go with it, which I have to print out. But in here, there's some things you can choose to make a boat. And down the bottom is to make an animal home out of these. So that is their STEM challenges for today. And this is the maker mat I got. Now, who did I get it from? It says from Brooke Brown. I think she might be the brown paper bag teacher. So this is March's one, and we choose 2 a week. So I'll put a little mark on them for the first week, the 2 that we choose it will be, and then I will gather some pieces that they could use to put together, and I'll put them in a little box and they'll be able to access them. So I'm just going to give you a little view of my room as it looks at the moment. So I'm loving it, it's looking good. Anyway, another thing I wanted to talk to you about is the first up for maths today. So I saw this on Instagram this morning, so I'm going to give it a go. I've just got to find where I put my dice. So I'll walk over here. My dice are in here. So what happens, what I saw this morning is that the kids grab a dice, and on the Instagram page, look at my face, on the Instagram page that I saw this morning, the lady was counting from 100. So I won't be doing that. My kids will count from 50, roll the dice, they get a 1, they take the 1 off 50, and they work all their way down to 0. Well, hey everybody, it is Monday and I'm only vlogging. I'm trying really hard to do this, but I'm vlogging in the afternoon after a long hot day. It got to like 38 degrees today, so we are pretty much all dying here. So not a lot to tell. A few things happened in the classroom today that are great. We have been doing graphing and data and graphing for our maths, and we have an assessment due in 2 weeks, which is about they have to create a chance data and graphing. So they have to boom, here I go again. Okay, what's it called? I can't remember. Okay, so I'm going to go into maths and have a look. Unit 3, Unit 4, where's Unit 1? I don't have Unit 1. That's just great. Okay, so back to where I was up to. So we have been very busy in class today. In maths we are working on data and graphing, so creating surveys and graphing the data. So because we have an assessment due where they have to do some chance and data, and with that they have to, it's actually gone from my head, and for the life of me I can't think what it's called. Probability, that's it, probability. Oh, there's one report. I wonder what it is. Is it math? Let's have a look. Year level 3 maths. You know what I hate? When it's on the tip of your tongue and you say it all day and then you go to say it and it's gone. So oh, take 2. Good afternoon, and here we are again. I'm doing this again because I wanted to talk to you about what we are doing in our classroom, and yes, I wanted to be the best vlogger in the world, but here we are. It is Monday afternoon and I have just taken out my camera. Anyway, okay, so I am just looking at So we've been talking about graphing and data and surveys and all the good things that go with our data and collection and what we do with the collection of the data. So in our classroom today we started talking about a project that I wanted the kids to do on graphing and data collection, because in 2 weeks they're doing an assessment, and in the assessment they have to conduct a chance experiment. We haven't got to talking so much about chance and probability and all those great vocab words that go with that. So I just wanted to make sure that the kids understood how we build a graph, what we need to make a graph, such as a survey, how we go about surveying people, what do we survey about. I'm taking the information from the graph and asking questions about the information so they can analyse the information they have, and then putting that into a graph, some type of graph that we can see, and hopefully they get an understanding from that. I want to make sure that they know how to label a graph and have all the things on there, like the title, what the graph is about, the question that they surveyed. I want to know that they know all that before we move on next week to the probability and chance. So today I decided to do a graphing project with them. So today I set the kids up into groups of 3, and we talked about, first of all, I did a graphing, I made my own question, and my question was, what was our favourite pet? And I cut out some pictures of pets, and I had the dog, the cat, the fish and the bird, and the kids came out and drew tally marks on where they were, so we could tally. We talked about tally marks. The kids know about those sort of things. We added them up, and we talked about which was the most favourite and the least favourite, those words that we use. I then talked about the fact that if I wanted to then, after I've used this survey, I want to find out information and delve deeper into the information that we collected, what are the questions that we could use, and the students had to come up with their own questions. So I'm just going to take you over, because it's still on the board, the work we did today. So if I turn you around, okay, so I'll step back. So over here, this is our survey, and what is your favourite pet? So the students came up one by one, and they had to put onto the board their tally mark what their favourite pet was, and we counted the tally marks and we got a total. Then from then I wanted the children to answer some questions that they had made up themselves in their groups of 3, which I just pulled out using our good old paddle pop sticks. We grouped in 3, and they went away and they talked about it. They wrote it down on a piece of paper, a question they might like to ask. Now I did give them a little bit of help with the types of questions that they might like to ask, and one of mine was, what is the title of the survey? I then said, we could ask questions like, what is the most popular pet, what's the least popular, questions that might make us think, such as how many more people voted for dogs than for cats. So they had to go away. I read their question that they wrote out in their groups, and if someone had already got that question, then I had to try and get them to think of another question. So these are the questions that we finally ended up with, and the students, someone from their group had to write the question. So we got a few questions up there. We got 9, but we lost one question. Got a bit, it was one that was already written, so we had to take out number 7. But that's okay, they still had 8 good questions up there. So from those 8 good questions, we got some good questioning. The kids were talking to each other. So we found out a lot of things. They then had to go around, once we wrote these out, these were then put around the classroom. So they were placed around the classroom, and the students had a little box, which, if I found one, I could show you. Sorry if you're looking in my ear. So then I just gave them a little sheet to, of all the ones I choose, it's probably not the best. So then they had to answer the questions by themselves, but I did say they could walk around in groups. So this was the sheet that they got. It was just a little table that I drew up in Word from 1 to 10, and they went around, looked at the questions, and according to what number I had written on the questions, such as 1, 2, 3, and they wrote the answer on that sheet. That's as far as we got today. There was wonderful questioning. I'll insert some photos. The kids were great. They walked around, they had conversations, they talked about adding up, and talked about what was the most meant and what the least meant, and they tried to come up with their answers. They did a brilliant job. There was a lot of conversation happening. The kids were up and about. I thought it was fantastic. So tomorrow we will then discuss their answers and how they went. It wasn't a test, so there is no right or wrong. They just had to collect those answers, and tomorrow we're going to talk about them and what we use those answers for and what we need the questions for. So then tomorrow they are going to get a little booklet each, and I'm going to put them into groups of 3 again, because 3 work well in our classroom because we have 22 students. So one group will have 4, but they work all a group of 2. Depends on what they want to do. So tomorrow, I got this from Growing in 2nd grade. So I got this from Growing in 2nd grade, and it had some things in it that I wanted to use. So I used the front page, which talks about the project that they're going to do. So in their group, they have to come up with a question about something that they want to survey other students in the classroom. So in their group, they need to think about what they want to survey, and we will go over some brainstorming, such as ice cream flavours, hair colour, eye colour, favourite movie, favourite book. We can't do favourite pet because we've done that one. But there are a multitude that they'll be able to choose. Some children will probably come up with their own because they think out of the box. So it just goes through what they'll need to do: create a question, make a prediction about your results. So they haven't done that yet, so we're going to talk about making predictions, which actually comes in really good for the chance and data experiment that they're going to have to do. The whole, what will happen, will this happen or will that happen? Conduct the survey, so they need to walk around and conduct the survey of 22 or 23 students, depending how many are in class tomorrow. Collect their data using a frequency chart and record it. So once they've done that, they've got a little checklist, and they've got all these great vocabulary words on here. Before they actually do that, they make a plan, and it has questions like, what is your survey question? So they have to know their question. What are your 4 choices? So I said that we talked about if you picked what is your favourite pet, and people could say alligator, cats, dogs, birds, chickens, geese, cows, horses. Well, you can't let them just give you 100 different animals. So we decided that we would have 4. So that's a good amount. So 4 things that they are to survey on. What's their prediction? How they record their data? How they represent their data. Now, they're representing their data in here in the booklet. They will be doing a bar graph to represent their data, but when they will then be given at the end of the week a poster, cardboard poster, piece of poster, and they will be making a poster of the data that they have collected. Now, they will be able to use the information collected in here, but they will be drawing up all their work. Although on the Thursday we're going to use the laptops, we're going to go into this. It actually gives me in here, it actually has a website in here somewhere that they can go onto to create graphs. So they'll be creating the graph. I'll be able to print them out, and then they'll have a colour graph of whichever they choose, whether it's a pie graph or a vertical or horizontal or a picture graph or whatever they're going to choose to display, and that will be the main focus of their graph. They can draw that onto their poster and label it. I don't mind. It is for them to show me as a group how they collaborate for a start and how they use their information to create a poster to show, and they will stand up and talk about it to the rest of the class. And as long as they answer the questions in their little booklet about what they've found and analyse the questions. So also too, I will be giving them this sheet because they have to come up with some of their own questions to analyse the data that they've collected. So they'll probably get this sheet and be able to use that too. And then they'll be able to present it, and then that'll tell me, do those kids know it? Don't they know it? I pretty much know most of them what they know, but it's just a good ending to the graphing before they start their actual assessment the week after. So next week we'll start on the probability and chance part of that. So that's what we got up today, and I really enjoyed it, and the kids really enjoyed it. It's great to see the kids getting up and being proactive and walking around, and they're all engaged, all working collaboratively with their partners, their groups. Very enjoyable. And I just sat back and answered questions and went around and made sure that they were on track. They did an amazing job. As a class, we did an amazing job. So that was the big thing I wanted to talk about. So as the kids progress through the week, I will give you an update on how they're going with their project, which I hope that they enjoy. So that's all for me. I'm going to pop out and go home, and hopefully my husband has cooked dinner, and get home and relax, watch some of my favourite shows before I get back on and do some work online. So till then, see you later. So here I am, it's Tuesday, and not a lot has happened today. Tuesday afternoon, and wow, 39-40 today, getting hotter. So not a lot happens with me on a Tuesday. I'm very happy to say that Tuesday is a day of specials. So the kids go to their music, their PE, their ICT and library, and they have religion on a Tuesday. So there's not a lot of FaceTime with my students on a Tuesday. We did manage to get in some good conversations this morning about what we're doing, about our behaviour, and we did some predicting, because predicting is in our guided reading this week. So we did some work on predicting and read a book, which was quite a cute book that I got from, I think, Aldi. Aldi has some amazing books, very, very cheap, like $2. So if you ever see them at Aldi, nice hardcover books from Aldi for $2. They're quite good for the kids. So we did some predicting for our literacy this morning. We also did some verbs, so we did some verb work. We didn't get that finished. So tomorrow I'm off to the hospital with my son, to the Lady Salento Children's Hospital with my son for a checkup on an operation that he had the end of last year. So I have spent all my time today making sure that I have all my work set out for the relief teacher that will be in tomorrow. You know what they say? Sometimes it's better not to have a day off because it's less work. Well, I spent a lot of time planning for my relief teacher for tomorrow, and they're always things that it's really hard when you have a relief teacher, because I don't like to give the relief teacher things that I am really particular about, and especially when they lead up to an assessment. So this week when we started our graphing yesterday and our project, I didn't think I wanted to give the reins of that over to a relief teacher, not because I don't trust relief teachers, but I don't know if my children will be engaged and give their best effort if I'm not there cracking the whip, so to speak. And I want to see them step through the project as well, so that I can see their engagement and their collaboration throughout and answer their questions. So I didn't want to give them that. I don't like to give them anything to do with the assessment that we have in the classroom, to do with science, maths or English. So because we are now into writing a narrative for this term's English assessment, and we are doing the chance and data unit for math, and in science we're doing life and living, and they are all leading up because we only have 3 more weeks. Well, at the end of this week we will have 3 more weeks, but 3 more weeks of doing this before assessment. So I really want to be the one to give the students the work and watch them and grade them as I see fit. So when I prepare for a sub to come in, I'm making sure that it's work that isn't to do with the assessment, or if it is linked to assessment, it is not something I have to assess on, or anything that will play a big role in their assessment at the end. So for spelling, I've put in some spelling work in the morning, which kids do spelling work every day, so the spelling is pretty much straightforward. I actually put in something to do with St. Patrick's Day, so we've been talking about St. Patrick's Day, just like I said, in talking in the morning, just having a talk about the month of March. So there's just an acrostic poem that they can have a go at. I've put in some time, so we started doing these yesterday, which, yes, they're at the hour and very basic, but this just gives them a chance to understand the concept of this, about putting, it's just a warm-up for the math activity, but they have to, they're not in order, they cut them out and they have to stick them on here in order, so they have to read both the analog clock and the digital clock. And then because I am doing graphing in the classroom, I just wanted to, these are from Tunstall, I forgot her first name, Megan Tunstall, I can't remember, but they're from her. I have brought her units of work, so this is just just to give me some extra data on the kids, how they use the data and graphs. So there's that. Then there's just a little bit of fun to do. Some kids already started this the other week. It's about times table, so it's only their 2 times table. It's got a bit of division, and I'm allowing them to use their calculator as well, only because it's very simple and it has the division. So we looked at how do we use a calculator to do multiplication and how do we use a calculator to do division. So while I'm not there, this doesn't meet any requirements for assessment. It's just something for them. It's their doubles. If they can do it without a calculator, fantastic. They can check their work with a calculator, or for those students who do struggle, using a calculator actually gives them the answer, which sometimes when they see the answer next to a problem, it can seep in. And we are also doing, I'm also leaving my HAS. Now, this that I'm leaving for HAS, it's about significant days. This is an important, the assessment's about Anzac Day and celebrations, so this is just an add-on for the assessment item. So significant days of the week, other significant days, and Australian celebrations and ceremonies. So it's something they can do to give them more information. We've already done the hard yards, the information that they need to complete the assessment, so this just gives them extra knowledge and prepares them a little bit more for when they actually do the assessment. And I thought I'd just put a health for those fast finishers, and there's always those fast finishers for the end of the day. So hopefully that is enough for my relief tomorrow to come in and get this work done. So that's all I've got for you. I might take you with me tomorrow when I go to the hospital, the Lady Salento for my son. If not, I'll vlog on Thursday. So I just wanted to end this vlog before I put it up, because I'm getting there. I was just going to show you what we're doing in writing, what we started on, and it's called Writing Boot Camp. We just finished a persuasive text for this term, and it was about persuading, we had to write a letter to persuade someone. So we had to persuade the school principal to buy new playground equipment for our school. The kids did a great job of using all the devices we needed in a persuasive text, but their actual writing of capitals, full stops, finger spacing, writing in the lines on it. In Queensland we have what we call the Year 3 lines, the red and blue lines. Writing on them, they're atrocious, not very good. So we have started this week on our writing boot camp, and I'll link it underneath about where I got it from, but the kids enjoyed it. So we started talking about complete and incomplete sentences and what do they need, a noun and a verb. So they had all these cute little things that we cut out and looked at, and then the students made their own and they had to complete an activity. And then we have the writing goals about what they need, full stops, finger spaces. Yes, I put this desk here and it is covered, 2 of these, so it may have to move, or I'll have to move everything up, whatever. But I'm hoping to improve their actual writing, because like I said, they're getting how to write persuasive, and we're doing narrative next, and imaginative narrative next. So they get that. They get, with the persuasive writing, they knew what to do. They had everything in place, all the modal verbs, paragraphing, and that's what was expected. So they have the technical side. They just don't have the basics of capitals and full stops and what letters look like when we write them. Which is really annoying. And actually they're meant to edit, so part of the rubric at the end was about editing. So I have shown my children how to edit. I will put a little sticky note on their writing that doesn't tell them exactly what to do. It just has that you need to look at paragraphing and you need to look at your punctuation, and they're still not doing it. So I'm doing the boot camp the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll get them writing with capitals, full stops, punctuation, finger spaces, what is a sentence, commas, all that sort of thing. Hopefully they'll get that. So I'm about to leave now, my lovely classroom, so I'll just give you a little quick squizzy before I leave my classroom. I'm really happy with it at the moment. The flexible seating journey is doing quite well, and the kids have really got a grip on it. They've risen to the challenge of having flexible seating and doing really, really well. We actually wrote out some flexible seating rules, and they're doing really, really well. So that's a bonus. And I'm loving it. So it's a thumbs up for me for the flexible seating. I don't think I'd go back because it's just working out so well. I do have some normal desk in the room, hoping to get down to 2. So until then, bye.